Just wanted to thank the press for being here. We were asked to speak. My name is Clayton Goodwin. I am the Director of Media Engagement for Veterans Accountability Commission. I am not only a veteran with a disability, but I also am a medical marijuana user. I'm going to read a statement pertaining to the new medical marijuana laws that came into effect yesterday, and basically what I've seen as fallacies within the new policy. I've made a statement that I'm going to read. The statement, there's a copy over there. The statement is called Questions for My Prime Minister. Do you know the struggles faced by our disabled and ailing citizens in their pursuit for dignified access of marijuana under prohibition and the war on drugs? Because for many other Canadians, life has not handed them a silver spoon. This new medical marijuana policy does not reflect full inclusion within society when it comes to medical marijuana access for all disabled Canadians. It is unconstitutional to restrict someone's access from the ability to grow medical marijuana, especially after a documented medical need has been justified, only because of possessing a drug charge. Some of these charges are because of already failed prohibitive laws and mismanagement by Health Canada to produce a viable program and policy under the previous Conservative government. Mr. Trudeau, are you not stigmatizing an already vulnerable and marginalized section of our community through this policy? It seems that Mr. Blair forgot that all citizens are included in the community policing model, even those that have fallen through the cracks our system creates. Just having a record for a marijuana drug offense does not negate someone's need for medical marijuana, something it appears that will be granted for everyone else's disability through their constitutional rights, yet these rights have been removed for others. Where is the equality granted us under the Charter? What more will we lose to such liberal policy when government itself stigmatizes marginalized citizens without justification? Do you know where these citizens are in their lives? Is this Liberal government going to leave or discard some of us moving forward as the masters of liberal communication spin us tales of sunny ways and change? Something smells in Ottawa, and it is not the smell of plants but profits. Is it Health Canada's mandate to protect and project health industry or to administer health care? Government should not be forcing or pushing us to only get supplied from licensed producers for home growing. Where do you think most of those strains and seeds came from? Sorry, seeds were kept by others, especially patients, through prohibition to make it to white-collar profiteers that now want to own the rights to this plant and all the patents they can produce. This policy smacks of industry lobby. Is this Liberal desperation for a heavily regulated taxation stream because we are running deficit spending? Sir, leaders don't leave others behind. Do you not lead to ensure equality for our most vulnerable in society? How can you message change when it is not presented in policy in a just manner for all Canadians? Do those with records not face stigmatization in the workforce? Would they not be in more economical need to access medicine through the cheapest means possible? It seems patients were not consulted when the bean counters threw out numbers for potential taxation dollars. They were just used as lab rats for industry prepping and ready for legalization. I ask you, sir, if we as patients have issues now with cost, access, and strain availability, what happens when all licensed producers can sell to recreational users for more profit than patients can afford? Perhaps we should really discuss ethical policy and regulation. How about the strict regulation of medical marijuana prices? If it can be produced safely for less than 20 cents a gram for home growers, the high-priced marijuana gold rush has only the potential to create a low-priced illegal black market, putting our communities at risk. Is taking the right to grow this plant for personal medical use out of the hands of disabled patients with records really protecting our nation? Where is the rationale here? Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody, fellow Canadians. My name is Sam Malachi. Last time I was here, I smoked a joint in the House of Commons. I have been involved in this fight from the very beginning. I could go on for hours about the hundreds of hours I have sat beside desperately ill patients who are unable to access medicine that could heal them or improve their quality of life. The hundreds of thousands of dollars that have been spent trying to follow the twists and turns, regulations that seem to hurt patients, not help them. Nevertheless, I am going to address my comments directly to the lawmakers, our elected officials at all levels of government, and mostly important, our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Mr. Trudeau, I need answers. The Canadian public need answers. We demand answers, and we deserve them. As a collective, we as Canadians can do something about this. Unite is what we need to do. I am gathered with members of our cannabis community today here on the steps of Parliament and leading the call for a royal commission into the corruption, disobedience, money laundering, genocide. Furthermore, we need our government to realize that the money that you're spending is public money, and we need transparency. Disobedience from the courts, misappropriation of funds, blatant favoritism politically. Public safety is not, and I repeat, public safety is the main concern that this government has to be adhered to, and public safety is not being recognized. We are not being protected by your government and or the previous government. You must hold this to stand. I am stating these claims and claiming that there is no public safety. Everybody's walking around on eggshells not knowing what to do. Our healthcare system is being destroyed slowly but surely. Access to natural medicines, that cannabis is a natural plant, not a synthetic pharmaceutical compound that is going to turn around and addict you. There is no addiction with cannabis, unlike there is with Oxycontins, fentanyl patches. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much heroin that you're consuming. Ask your doctor. So don't look at a heroin addict in a bad way. You are addicted yourself. Just because it's legal and got a prescription does not make it good for you. There are still so many questions to be answered. One thing needs to be for sure. Cannabis has to be removed from the criminal code. There should be one standalone act, the Cannabis Act, not the CDSA. There are still so many questions. On top of that, many instances of irregularities in the public-private partnership deal. We, as the public, provide money to the private sector, and we as Canadians are bound by the contracts that our governments at all levels of governments produce. It is our purse that the dollars come from. When we as Canadians gave Prairie Plant System over $100 million,